Today, I'm going to share a conversation with you that I had with Stephanie. She's one of the founding members of the Surviving to Thriving Toolkit. She's also been a member of Soaring Mothers Society for a couple of years. But Stephanie's story is just so inspiring because she is someone who has, four wonderful kids, a lot going on, and started this process of survival mode just with, becoming pregnant every few years and trying to dig herself out and then also having this realization, as her oldest is 12 now, that there's no way for her to keep the pace that she was going, doing all of the household things for everyone all the time. And so really her story today is just so inspiring and full of wisdom, just and relatable of what it takes when you have family, you start getting out of those early baby years, but now all of a sudden you've got a lot going on, and how do you actually manage it all? And how do you do it when you have limited capacity, because none of us are robots? So I'm excited. Let's jump into this chat.
Hi, I'm Jessica Jackson, and this is the new way to thrive in motherhood by leaning into who you are, what you love, your unique family situation, and personal mission to create a life that you actually want to live. I want to invite you to join me in saying no to the life of the exhausted supermom, burnout, victim thinking, being pulled in so many directions, suffering through survival mode, or being lost in motherhood, and say yes to building strong families and moving forward on our greatest goals in order to create a fulfilling life that we are excited to wake up to each day and become a soaring mother. This is the Thriving in Motherhood podcast.
Welcome, Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me. So happy to be here.
Well, it has been an absolute delight because you have been a part of one of the founding members of the Surviving to Thriving Toolkit. And it has been so fun to watch you, and a member of Soaring Mothers Society for a long time. But it has been so fun to watch you go from, I would say you started kind of in survival mode, like very overwhelmed with just your physical space, with kind of drowning in all of the clutter. And yet now here you are and have just done incredible family systems, supporting your kids in different ways, living out some family dreams with your family culture and traveling and so many things. And so I'm excited to hear from you and learn from you today from kind of this transformation that you've experienced in the last months, year, working through the 5-step path.
Thank you. Yes, it's been a great journey because I joined the Soaring Mothers Society in February of 2023. So it's like, I can't believe it's already been a couple years. And then joining the toolkit, this like February, March has been really helpful too. So it's just giving me more tools to, yes, like you said, just be a better mother, be more intentional with my kids, help my home. And so I feel like I'm learning and growing all the time. It's constant change.
I love it. Well, I'm kind of jumping ahead. How about you introduce yourself to everyone, like kind of who you are, the ages of your kids, where you're from?
Yes, of course. So we live in Northern California. We're just outside of Sacramento in El Dorado Hills. And my oldest daughter is 12. And then I have a 9-year-old son, a 6-year-old daughter, and a 3-year-old boy. So they're just wonderful, wonderful kids. And as I was thinking about them recently, I was like, in the context of managing our home, they are big collectors, they are big creators, they play on big scales of like Harry Potter, magic world of, they call gathering all their stuffed animals like fairy tale school. They do different like mythical creatures is what my son is really into. So they'll kind of go in that avenue. And so they have big imaginations, big play, and then having all of their creativity and their magic also fitting within a household management system there's some give and take, there's some challenges, and there's learning on my part too. But they're delightful, and they love to be outside. We're a big outdoors family, so we have chickens and ducks and a dog, and we have a tree house and a bridge over our creek. And so there's just lots of outdoor play, and a lot of that imagination is built outside too. So we play hard very much.
I love it. Well, in our family, I feel like our kids are kindred spirits that have never met. And It's true. Like when you when you have that type of family culture, it does mean that your home systems are different. Like you have different rules than people that have perfectly clean houses all the time.
Absolutely. And being um, just very flexible and working within their capabilities too, because I feel like they're constantly changing and growing, as am I. And so that means our house systems have to fluctuate depending on the growth and their interest and the busyness of our schedules. So for me, learning to be just very flexible instead of that this is a continuous journey instead of just like a final destination. Like I have found my dishes system, I have found my bathroom cleaning system, and just letting it be more fluid. It's just like at this point or this season, it's working well. And then when it's not working well, just adjusting as we go.
Yeah, well, and that's why I love the principles like in the toolkit. I guess this
Yes.
is I mean, I guess I'm tooting my own horn here, but like I feel like once I started to understand, oh, these systems are based on principles and skills, then you can repurpose it for every season, right?
Absolutely. Yes. And especially your acronym for solve, like just stopping to identify. And I feel like in as the acronym for S, because our world is so fast paced and it's so easy to get swept away in our schedules and our um, just the different where like our families all wear different hats. Like if we are part of a church community, a school community, an athletic community, it's very easy to just have our family and home systems be um, pushed aside or or swept away just because the it's so busy. So the importance of stopping to see it's like, okay, where is the problem? And then we can observe it and see the what changes need to be made, um and then with our leveraged tasks and our then our vision and executing that. So that solve acronym is just so helpful to keep in mind of like where we need to make adjustments and the first step of just slowing down to see, okay, we have a bottleneck in this situation. Where can we apply some just relief to it? So that's been very helpful to me.
I love it. So let's go back to where you were when you first discovered this toolkit or, the 5-step path. I mean, I'll let you kind of go back and tell us what was survival mode for you and what made you interested in this process.
With my motherhood journey of having kids every 3 years, I felt like just as I was like resurfacing again, then I had another baby. And so which I love their spacing. Um and I love, that I have had the opportunity to bear children. But my son, who's the youngest, is going to turn 4 in 2 weeks. And so when I joined the Soaring Mothers Society, I was just like getting my head above the water a little bit, knowing that there were changes that needed to be made. And then, um, and I really love just like the monthly reviews of just actually, just like with stopping to observe, just really taking those moments to write down all the things that are going well, the things that I have accomplished, and just building that momentum. And then the toolkit, I was realizing that there can be more things than just having a baby that plummet you into survival mode. It can be short periods of time of sickness. It can be long periods of time of um, just even like we've had lots of car mechanical difficulties this year. And so just being without a car, it can be, um, I was giving myself the grace that I felt like as I was building out of survival mode that I had to stay out, like I couldn't go back. But then there were different things that sent me back. And then I had to reevaluate and realize like, oh, actually, there can be many periods of survival mode, and then I can climb back out of it again. So that was just even that knowledge of having the 5-step path is just like, oh, okay, I had only associated survival mode with having a new baby. So then broadening that, just like there can be shorter seasons and then we can work our way out. I feel like I have been through the reentry and normalizing. I have been my most constant companions, I would say, with reentry of just like when you get your backlog of housework, if it's been just one of those really hard weeks of just like maybe we've had somebody sick, or maybe I just had a really busy schedule with work, like my work in the church or volunteering in the classroom, and then I'm starting to see just the backlog of either dishes or bathrooms or floors, and then realizing that I can, pick that project and pull myself through that. And I love that when you pick one thing, then you can build on that and build momentum. And you just that satisfaction of accomplishing something then really propels you forward. The one of the most big takeaways from reentry is also picking a habit for me, to also lift myself out. So I noticed that when my daughter, she had a couple things before school, and her school starts an hour before my other kids. So getting her out the door, and we were trying to be really ambitious and do music lessons before leaving, just because our afternoon with homework, and then she did volleyball and track. So then those spring sports were complicated, and dinner and homework. So we were trying to fit in as much as we could and do our music ahead of time. But I was realizing as I was pushing to get so much done in the morning, I would just have to zip up my jacket over my pajamas and drop off kids at school just in the car loop, but then come home completely feeling like I had already lived a life, of a morning. And then I need to like get myself dressed. And then my son and I, we call it like second breakfast. So we have like our mid-morning something. And then we were kind of getting going about 10:30. And I was realizing that was weighing on me heavily because, like, I feel so much better if I can get dressed, if I can say a morning prayer and just have that peace and calm before the day gets rolling. Um, and so that's been just such a valuable asset of reentry. It's just like you pick something, that a pain point in your house, but also remember yourself, like bring yourself with you. And I've realized that in my earlier 30s, I could burn the candle at both ends. I could stay up late, I could get up early, and I just did it. But now this year, I'm 36, and I have realized my body is in rebellion. I can't do both. I can't do the candle at both ends. And that has been very humbling and very eye-opening that if I stay up late, I'm waking up with my kids, which is really sad for me because if we start the day together, then I'm not getting myself dressed or myself put together or my prayer done. We are just running for breakfast because we're all so hungry. So that's been super eye-opening for me of my body just can't do both. So I really need my family. I need every team player. Um, and then another thing is having in the Mom Matters 2 group, like having mom food ready. So one thing that I've done is make like a morning smoothie that I do a little bit extra. So that is also my mid-morning snack. And then I do just these oatmeal, like flaxseed peanut butter, chocolate chip, like these like protein balls. So that is like my afternoon, or even if I need like, a little something sweet after lunch. Like that's a lovely little thing that I know is nourishing my body. But when my kids get home from school, I do a chocolate cauliflower smoothie. So it's from the plant-based cookbook that I love. So just knowing that those are also part of my like snack anchors through the day too. We have meal anchors, we have snack anchors. But just this journey of, and with the toolkit, it's just like I can't leave myself behind anymore. So that's been really important to just remember, like, I just don't have the capacity or bandwidth to just like stay up late and get up early and take care of the house so that the kids have um like an easier day or an easier morning, because that circles back to just hurt me more because then they don't know how to put things away or contribute or clear the table or clear the counter or um, so realizing that as I in my earlier 30s thought I was helping, helping my family, like, okay, if I can just get on top of it, if I can be like my best self and putting out all the fires while setting myself on fire to get all this done. And then my body has been just this gentle reminder of like, actually, I can't do it all. I need their help, whatever in their most like humble way, even if it's not up to the standard that I would like. um, I just need them. And so the toolkit of just like reentry and normalizing, like we are best friends right now, of just different seasons of just reminding myself how I need my family to help me all the time.
Yeah, well, and I think, you've touched on so many like specific examples of things you're applying, but I think it's such a beautiful principle and not in a you need them to help you because you lack, but just this reality of this is what it takes to have a large family and meet everybody's needs, right? And for you to be the mom that you want to be means they actually have to learn how to take care of themselves, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then just for them, just the satisfaction of just like um of them accomplishing things. In June, my husband, because our spring and the end of the school season, which I think many can relate to, is so busy. In June, I was worried about just the ball dropping completely of just like, okay, we're all home and we have to then reestablish just our new normal of all being together. And so my husband, he would print out like a new chore chart each day. Just they really liked the variability and things that they were doing. So it's not just the same thing. So, but they do have a few that are the same, like making beds and prayers, um, and like reading and instruments. Sometimes those are like the instruments we try our best depending on the day. And then it'll be like unloading the dishwasher, folding clothes, or thinking about their abilities. One of them is also always picking up 10 things and getting them back to their home. But when my husband started making this chart, the very bottom said, "Give mom love." And I was like, Jeff, how did you know? Like, I didn't even know I needed that. Excuse me, needed that. But just having them throughout the day, or it could be one of the first things they check off so that they are themselves building momentum, but just coming, just giving me a big hug or telling me that they love me or just something, a nice compliment. I was like, boy, does that just feel good? Because like in the SOLVE acronym of like executing the plan and the system you want to install for your family, I have realized that's also really difficult if my energy is down or if sometimes just feeling not appreciated. And, it happens to all of us of just like we're working so hard and it's maybe nobody notices, but just even just those hugs, that was just such a delight and just such a surprise when he put that in there. And so then the kids added a second box under give mom love, and it was like give dad love. And so they would run upstairs and go hug him or something. So that has been a fun thing for summer.
Well, and like such a beautiful family culture thing that you are building into your family systems.
Thank you. It's been really, really sweet.
So you say you're best friends with reentry and normalizing, which I totally believe and is so satisfying.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some of the exploring things that you've done too, because you are learning languages, you are traveling, you are doing some really cool stuff. So tell me about that and that process for you, because it also has been bumpy a little bit.
Yes, yes. So a year ago we took our kids to Australia, New Zealand for just over like 2.5 weeks. And I have always loved to travel. We did some traveling with my husband's MBA program before we had kids, and we would go to a new country every like 10 weeks for a couple weeks. And it was just delightful because our first location was China, and so they studied manufacturing, and I was 21, just about to turn 22 when I went. And I hadn't done international travel before getting married. And I was just I had just done a lot of research of just places that of interest that I wanted to see. And then I just would have the concierge write the address in Chinese. And then I had the return address in Chinese so I could get back and forth. But that really opened a love of traveling. And we did some international travel when my daughter was 2 and I was pregnant with my son because where my husband works every 7 years, they have a sabbatical, which is 8 weeks off. And so a dream I had for my kids is I want them to choose just a foreign destination so that every kid gets to go, to a place that they desire. Um, so my daughter Colette loves koalas, and so we went to Australia, and she was able to hold a koala, and just being away from home and all of work and just the demands on our time and just being with our family is just the greatest gift and the biggest joy of my life of just adventuring together, making meals together, trying new foods together. We tried like alligator pizza in Australia, and um, it was so fun to also give your kids the chance to be brave in a safe environment of like trying new things and, going through the airport and navigating like customs and just figuring out a new like transportation system. And we just, it just brings me so much joy and happiness. And so we even, just this spring break, we just did small adventuring. We did a day in San Francisco and a day in Santa Cruz, but I, um, I just really loved how honest we could do that on a big scale or a small scale. Like we can, we want to save money. My son, his desire is to go to Scotland. He wants to visit Loch Ness Lake. He loves, as I said before, mythical creatures. So, that is his spot that he wants to go. So as I have that in the distant picture of, wanting to save money for that, we just did over spring break just 2 days. And that just meant the world to me of even just some of the landscape, like driving towards the coast reminded us of New Zealand and the rolling hills and the lush greenery. And I was like, okay, we don't have to wait for a big trip to have like these magic moments with our family too. And on our New Zealand trip, I've always admired people who could speak another language, and I had always wanted to learn French. And so I just started my little Duolingo class, and I've been doing that for over like 420 days now. So I'm making some progress on it. And then I have the opportunity to go to France this winter with my sister-in-laws. And so um, I would just love, not that I will be able to have full conversations, but just like greetings and, different terms with shopping or just having even a small conversation with someone if they're willing to like practice with me. I think would just be just wonderful because it also shows as we like effort on our part. Like I think when we go to other places, we expect them to know English and expect them to, kind of meet us where we are. But then I just love the idea of like if I'm putting forth effort to learn another language, that just makes me feel um, just really um, happy and grateful to just like put my effort out there too, and not just expect it to be given to me. So that's been um, just a touch of our travels, and I just to see a new place and new cultures and new people is just one of my most favorite things. I just love it.
Well, and it's been so fun because I feel like as you have implemented different systems and been able to go through some of those, other phases, it's created some more bandwidth for you to be able to enjoy these things and to have time to plan and research it because it takes months for you to put these trips together sometimes.
It does. Yes, absolutely. Because yes, it's a lot of research and a lot of just even asking people, if around in your communities, like if they've, gone to these certain countries or places, and it takes a lot of effort. So yeah, if we're able to have our families on board and help with just the day-to-day living, the daily habits and of our like of taking care of our home and taking care of our personal needs, then we can really have just that breadth of time and energy to, yeah, do things that really make us happy.
Yeah, I love that. So you've kind of already touched on it. And so if you're like, oh, we've already talked about that, that's fine. But what was the most frustrating problem that you were hoping to solve with the toolkit?
I think it was just figuring out, especially like if there are certain days of the week that function better, of like some of those cleaning, of just like if when is like a good day for like vacuuming or floors or bathrooms or laundry, or I was doing all of those on like a need basis, like get it, something is like, okay, we're kind of getting to a low point and close. It's like, oh, I probably would have been good to start that a couple days ago and do like a load or two a day. And so I was, I think, just having my ideas of like how I wanted the household to run was just like is up in my head, and getting it more at especially conveying what I need or conveying what the house is needing to my family, and not realizing, or I'm sorry, and realizing that they can't read my mind, or they also can't, because if certain things aren't as important to them, like they don't really mind if the bathroom is dirty. So that's not going to be like a trigger for them to realize, oh, that should probably be cleaned. So realizing that we as individuals have different scales of where we think something is acceptable. So um, I was, yeah, wanting just the household management, especially when you, in the toolkit, you have the four phases of home management. And back when in 2023, when I joined the Soaring Mothers, I was, one of my wins and one of my things that I worked on each month was decluttering. And in your household management of like decluttering and organizing, then it's so much easier to tidy and clean. And with the fast pace of our lives, I was decluttering, but I was bottlenecked where my organization piece hadn't happened fully. Like I had ideas of how I wanted to group things and categorize things, but that I was noticing just the bottleneck because of like I've decluttered so much, and yet you would walk into my house and not realize it. And so once I realized that, I was like, oh, that's a really big part of it. Then the tidying and then that upkeep of cleaning and actually wiping things down can take place. So I was just needing, I think, more grounded anchors, in getting the toolkits. Just like I have systems and things in my head, but getting them like pen to paper, printing short charts, having those discussions, the visions with our kids of what needs to happen, so that we can all move as one, to accomplish this goal. Um, and also I've really enjoyed the work of like Dawn, the minimal mom. And she, in her process of decluttering and tidying a room, she will start at the same place each time. Like if you're going to start the family room, like if you fluff the pillows, clear off the coffee table, then get stuff off the floor, then if you don't have to reinvent the wheel, because I feel like by the end of the day, when you're tired and you just see grand scheme, so much that needs to be taken, either put away or um, just the overall pickup of the day, then that has been really helpful to me. It's just like when I'm tired or when the kids are tired, if we can start in that same spot every day and just that room requires these steps and this room requires these steps, then um, our minds can just not have to be put to the test each time we face like a mess. Um, so that has been really helpful.
Well, so I would love to hear what have been some of your biggest wins or the thing that you're most proud of since joining the toolkit.
I would say for me, because um I feel like I am, spread pretty thin during the school year, that having the information that you've gathered, the research that you've done to put things in the toolkit and organize it as you have, that has been just a huge mental load off of me, because it's like I have that ready when I need it. Because one of my I concerns of joining the toolkit was I have bought courses before, and where it's like a start, beginning to end course, that things that I really want to learn and enjoy and want to add just to my knowledge, but I haven't been able to just accomplish them. And I know I can do better, but I was worried about the burden of just placing like one more course on my shoulders that I haven't completed. And after talking to you, we were like, no, 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 this is for you to come and go as you need. Like, you go look and say, mom matters too. Like, there's healthy mom food, or, things that can just be so poignant in the moment. And so even just like cleaning with your kids or helping them tidying, or um, we just a couple of days ago created a cleaning playlist of thinking of the Disney movies of, um, if you've seen Enchanted, like the Happy Working song, and the Snow White movie that came out recently, like Whistle While You Work, or just my husband was helping me go through the Disney movies and finding their cleaning song. So it's just like, or Mary Poppins, like A Spoonful of Sugar. And it was, oh gosh, we've had like the most fun cleaning nights because we've just come back from 2 weeks of visiting family. Um, and so our house just exploded with like, just luggage that we were bringing home and food and souvenirs. And then we had neighborhood kids just like waiting at the door for my family. And so we had 2 days of then playtime and creativity and bead art. And they put together a ball. And so they had all the dress up stuff out. So we had a happy neighborhood explosion on top of coming home from a 2 week trip. And so as I looked around the house and felt despair, it's like, I need some happy songs to just help boost me in that. Um, and so I love that this was a program that I can be successful with just one lesson, or that I can listen or watch one thing, kind of chew on it if I need to, and then implement it. And then I have revisited some of my favorite ones over and over again, of just like, okay, I can, um, I was like going back to normalizing. Okay, we need dishes done, we need food on the table, and we need clothes washed. I was like, okay, from that 2 week of explosion, like I can sort through and then just bring our family life back up to par again. Um, and so for me, my favorite thing about the toolkit is that it is a no pressure, like no, I don't feel like that heavy weight, like of the courses that I had bought before. Just like, it's like my friend, I can refer to it as often as I need to. And then having the family vault systems of just like lists and the cards that I want to print, since my kids really have adapted well to different cleaning things each day. So I was realizing that maybe if I pick something that's the same every week, they might need more variability to make that just more of an enjoyable experience for them. So I have just really appreciated that it's this wealth of knowledge that I can just learn from and gather, and I don't have to go weed through just tons of research, or even on my own, just like gathering and then having to process it and make it more like bite size for me, that work is done thanks to you. So it's been just like a friend in my back pocket. I can pull it up on my computer, on my phone, and just help when we have those busy days or busy seasons that I can pull it out and be like, okay, this is where I think we're falling right now. I think we're in normalizing, we're trying to get, further down to exploring like and it just has treasures of knowledge that I can just pick through and, help my family. So I think it's great.
Oh, I love it. I love that you've taken the solve framework, right? Slowing down, identifying the problem, and then you go find the thing in the toolkit that
Yes.
supports you right now, and then you just back away and you change something and it's better. That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's so much better. And just like small wins, small things, to help. And it's been so, so great. I love it.
I think we need to add your Disney cleaning song playlist into the toolkit.
Okay.
I feel like
I'll
that's going
send
to
it to
be
you.
like a high demand item. That would be an excellent tool in there.
It's so fun. Like even when I was little, like um, there's just like I would have this mouse book that I just loved, and she had a little home in a teapot, and it was very minimal. She had just what she needed, and that has always just spoken to me. And I feel like in those Disney songs, like they are just taking something that is a complete mess and just like, making it better and just tidied and clean. And um, I just loved those songs ever since I was little. And so just a couple of days ago, where I'm like, Jeff, I know the song list. Like I can just like I'm just gonna tell you. I was cleaning and I was like, I'm gonna tell you movies, and you go find the song and then add it, and we'll just keep working. And you're the DJ for the night
That's
while we get those
amazing.
songs going. And it was sweet and fun and skipping with our broom. Like it was really delightful.
It is such a beautiful. See, and this is the thing. Like the cleaning, like this housework, it can be so bonding. It can add to the family culture. It doesn't have to be a burden. It can be something that is joyful and creates room for more joy. Like I just love the momentum that builds when we start to do these little things.
Absolutely. I love that too.
So, okay, last question for you. What would you recommend to people that are thinking about the toolkit? Friends asking you about it.
Yes, I would tell them just like because you have the thrive or surviving to thriving like worksheet that you can work through, to just see where they are on their path. And so it's just like because a lot of people don't realize that that's like a step process, or like they might be feeling those things but not realizing that that's actually just like there is a very clear path and just very normal steps of how you go, one end to the next or back again. So just starting them with just like the knowledge of that path and realizing that, hey, on that checklist of as you learn more about it, there are all in the toolkit there's all of these subcategories that go in depth of like how you can even have just better mental thinking, like in survival mode, how you can talk to your spouse, how you can bring your kids along when it just feels like you are functioning just really low. Um, and it's just like also that journey is fluid, so that's just like we can go from surviving to thriving and back down again and back up again. And just realizing and acknowledging that just as we are adjusting with our families and adjusting to our culture and our fast-paced society and just all the different things that our families are a part of, that it's just such a help. And um, I think we tend to just we carry a lot quietly and on our own. And I think especially when I've joined the Soaring Mothers Society, realizing how similar we are in our feelings, even though our circumstances might be different that way. So I would recommend it to anybody. Just it's going to help lift you. It's going to give you tools, and the research is done for you. Like for me, that's such a big lift. Um, because it's broken down in ways that are easy for me to digest. And especially when we had our Marco Polo with this beginning group of us in the toolkit, Having the time listed on there, like how long this lesson is, also was helpful in the fact that I actually only have 5 minutes, but there's a 3 minute lesson about normalizing. I can take that like real quick, or I can listen to it while I'm, waiting in a pickup line at school. So I think it just really meets you wherever you are, whatever circumstance you're going through, whether, quietly or if you're, um, looking to others for help. I think this is just one more thing to um, just help you be successful and help take care of our families too.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Any final thoughts that we didn't cover that you're like dying to tell people about?
um, I think that in all of this, I just remember to bring yourself along too. Just like as my body was physically telling me that I can't burn the candle at both ends anymore, that I can't, um, take care of the house and have all the dinners done and all the dishes done and still be there for, all the extracurricular activities. Um, it's been such a good experience for me to realize that I can't do it all. And if I can prepare myself with like some healthy snacks throughout the day to meet, like, because our days can also be very unexpected too. We've had different doctor's appointments come up, or I had my son get sick at school, and just, our days can be very, unpredictable too. But as we just remember ourselves in that journey of just like take as you're re-entering, your family into a new season, bring yourself along, bring a healthy habit or even a healthy desire if you want to change something. Um, and I think that's my biggest thing is I just remembering that like my sleep, my healthy eating, my care of um taking care of myself is just so important to help then in return be available to my family. My kids vary in their emotional needs, their physical needs, and if I realize if I can't um, take care of myself, then I have a hard time showing up for them in my best way and how I would choose to. So I would say just the toolkit is amazing and helpful and inspired and put together with so much love. And the desire for you to be successful. So I think it's just one more thing to just add to your revenue of knowledge. And I think it's just perfect in every aspect of it. So it's a great gift for anybody.
Well, I really appreciate you, Stephanie, sharing all of those, you know, mind shifts, changes that you've had, the breakthroughs that you had, the successes you've had. It has been so delightful to watch you on your journey. And for those of you watching and listening to this conversation, I would love to hear in the comments below what your biggest takeaway is. And if you would like to join us in the toolkit, we would love to have you and you can learn more about that at survivingtothrivingtoolkit.com and learn all about it there. And thank you so much for joining me. And we'll talk to you again next week.